Good morning. We just took a brief recess because we got through our other stuff and
Okay, now we're on.
we took a brief recess because we got through our other things pretty quickly this morning. So we are ready to talk to you as representatives from SCAT. So what would you like to share with us or discuss? You can come up or you can stay where you're at, whatever you want to do.
Well, we'll just sit here. Good morning. There
Okay.
may be one more of us coming that's running a little behind.
Okay.
But, I'm Dave Shelton. I'm past president of the board. This is Julie Myers. She's our secretary. We really just wanted to talk a little bit about the lease for the building. That we shared it with Jim Fruth, our legal counsel, and there's some, I don't know if you saw the revisions. There was if you
I
want to
did.
call it like a red line copy. There's a lot of it's just some minor words. There's not any major changes from that perspective. But the biggest section that we thought that ought to be better defined would be like the lawn care and outdoor building maintenance and snow removal and those few things, because it's kind of vague in the lease as to really who's responsible for that. And I know Jim made some recommendations. There was an email that had that section, kind of how he recommended it to read. And we just wanted to see your thoughts, on it, and so we all come to a common agreement on it, especially going forward, because as administration changes or as the board changes, the way the lease is now leaves it kind of open as to who's responsible for those things. We just don't want any gray areas down the road, so.
Sure.
As
And
far-
I guess
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say for everybody to know where we're at, with the new building, which has been in almost a year,
Yep.
it was the determination that for $1 a year, the building is leased to them, it's on county property. I'm looking to Jeff, because he was the one around at that point, we weren't here, when that was all done. And that's where we're at, and then it was that we needed to have a lease drawn up and get working on it, and that began in the summer or fall or some point, and we're just trying to work through those details is kind of where we're at. And I guess, just so everybody knew where we're coming to, and if this is all new, but it is new, so.
Just one more piece of history.
Yeah.
When SCAT came to us, they'd gotten the grant, excited about putting up a new building. The county said, the Board of Commissioners at that time, I realize this is a different board, had said several times that we're happy to become the contracting agent, but it wouldn't cost us anything. So if we're looking at now maintaining a building, I think the old board, at least the three old commissioners, looked at it as being your responsibility to maintain the building. I think mowing lawn is, we mow lawn and things like that. But if there needs to be a radiator fixed or things like that, I think the intention of the previous board was that was going to be a SCAT responsibility. And I think this lease is going to define it as our responsibility, the way the changes are written. But we were pretty clear to Linda, and I'm not sure how involved if there were board members here at that meeting or not, or those meetings when we talked about that. We became the contracting authority under the presumption it wouldn't not cost us any money to do that.
I'd have to say as well with, again, not being a member of the board at that time, but with the number of maintenance responsibilities we have of our own buildings and so forth, I could see where the board would have been coming from at that point in time, and would have to lend to think that the occupiers of the building would take care of those maintenance issues that come up by you lease the building and then it's yours. The snow removal, those minor things that we do, and that helps with, I think, your matching stuff a bit. I certainly have no problems with that. The landscaping issue is we don't have much to speak of any landscaping around any of our buildings, and I don't know that we want to add that level of dimension. I don't know what's there now. If we went to look, it's probably under snow, I suppose. But I don't know if it's stone and it's a couple bushes or nothing.
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
That's
Did
their
not like
But
there.
proposed
essentially,
changes.
and really, it wasn't necessarily the maintenance items per se, as much as it was the parking lot and the outside stuff with the landscaping. We just wanted it defined as really whose responsibility it truly is.
Yeah.
I think
But like as far as maintenance in terms of like the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, all that stuff would fall within our realm, yes. We understand that. But like I said, really just a section of the lease that speaks to about snow removal and yard work, if you want to call it, or yard maintenance. Just wasn't.
We've
just wanted to
agreed
make
to
it
do
clear.
the plowing.
Yeah.
for the-
Yeah.
I think
And so,
we
and the
were
repairs would
asking
be
about
anything,
shoveling
if something
sidewalks.
blew on or off the roof, or a window, any of that stuff is the way I read this. Am I reading it right?
Yes.
When it talks about the repairs and that kind of thing.
I think as far as snow removal, no question we're willing to mow the lawns, because we've mown that lawn anyway. Mow the lawns, snow plowing up the lots, you know, if we're gonna, I don't think we're looking at shoveling sidewalks and things like that.
Well, I think in the recommendation that Jim had in here was just, it's similar to some of the other county properties, I think, that if it's a 2-inch or greater snowfall, then they would have someone sweep through the lot. But then the sidewalks, I believe, are
Your
supposed to be
responsibility.
our responsibility, yeah.
So it's the same as.
I'm not, I really haven't read this, but I'm not sure the way it reads. It looks like it makes maintenance our responsibility, which is not really my intention. I'll have to read that.
Well, if there's a couple things you wanna, change or recommend back
Oh, I haven't got it.
to Jim, and then,
Yeah.
Okay.
and like I said, it
Okay.
shouldn't take much to
Okay,
to
to
hash
tweak
through
that.
it, to work it
Okay.
out, but, and it's close in our eyes, but we just wanted it, like I
Okay.
said, to be a little better defined,
Yeah.
especially in the future, because somebody down the road says, well, gee, Jeff Wagner said it was this,
Right,
and
right.
Dave Shelton said it was that,
We're both
and, no,
wrong.
yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
so.
Okay, we'll make, do we all want to make recommendations?
I haven't read it yet.
I haven't either.
I haven't read it yet, so.
Yeah, I think it just came in here end of last week, if I remember. I'm thinking when Tanya got it from Jim. That when you got it last, yeah.
So any changes, we make recommendations to Jim, and he could read to you,
And
is
then
that
he
what
would
you're
work with
saying?
the prosecutor to
Okay.
finalize it, yeah.
Okay.
And that building is on our insurance, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Because we own it.
Yeah, and I don't know if this paragraph, talked about the deductible on those, on claims, that kind of stuff. I don't know how that is with, we've got other buildings, and I guess that's one thing is, I would think we'd want to be pretty consistent with other places where they operate, and I'm feeling right now to think of who that is, but
The museum?
the museum, yeah, there's one, that they take care of. They take care of the maintenance, so it's versus, setting a different type of precedent, I think,
Yeah.
and as well as that responsibility to the county of that cost.
And then the ones that we actually charge a real rent to, then we take care of more things. We do the inside stuff, like the card shop up here, where we actually charge them a real dollar rent. I mean,
Yeah.
a actual true value
A
rent.
Market share, yeah.
Then we
Market
do
share.
the inside maintenance on that.
The chaplain's corps, same thing, they take care of it. Okay. I don't know what else at this point,
Do-
any of you got
Do we have
questions
an
or
agreement
anything
with
else?
Chaplain's Corps? We have something in writing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yep.
we could do something real similar there.
I
See,
think that's
think
where she
Jim-
got the draft from.
Jim
Oh,
was
okay,
trying to
okay.
utilize some other county documents to have
Okay.
some similar language in them,
Okay.
to make it uniform
Okay.
too, so.
Good.
I'm not sure what he used to,
Okay.
but I think that was his goal, was to try to make it fairly similar to some of the other language for some of the other properties, so.
I would like to look at the contract and don't make any decision until next
Sure,
week.
sure, sure.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. All right, like I said, I don't know if there's anything else you want to make us aware of. We certainly will, obviously, we'll review this and get feedback to Jim, that'd be the
Okay,
right
yeah,
channel.
that'd be fine. Denise, I don't know if you
Yeah.
have anything else you
No,
wanted to add.
no,
or-
it really wasn't. That was it.
Okay.
So, how are things going? In terms of, is it busy with the weather and people not wanting to drive, and I'm assuming, and
Very
ridership is probably up a bit? and-
Very busy, especially out of town stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya, if you can get us a copy of these, of the lease.
Anything else, anybody else has questions? Okay.
Make a motion that we.
No further business? Motion to adjourn,
Second.
and a second, so we'll stand adjourned. Thank you, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.